Welcome, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another Raider Report here for the fall semester at Mount Union. I'm Brendan DeVenney, and today we are pleased to be joined by interim chaplain at Mount Union and former soccer player Stephen Dages. Stephen, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So you are now back at Mount Union after a couple of years. You recently took the chaplain job over the summer. What is it like being back on campus here and being in the chapel?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I think like naturally over a 2.5 year period, the university has progressed a lot and like a lot has changed. But also obviously during COVID, it's a year of its own. So a lot of things are different in general, just from when I was here as a student. So it's just weird being back as a staff rather than a student. You just see things from a totally different perspective, and just the way you view things and the way you feel just on your presence on campus is different. So I'm still learning the ropes. I'm still trying to get a feel for the daily life and the rhythm and the routine, but I think I'm getting settled in nicely finally.
So what made you want to get into the spiritual direction life, and what made you kind of want to go that route as your major and pick and come back as chaplain?
That's a good question. So I think it's just kind of something that was placed within me from the time I was born. I can't really explain it. I actually started at Mount Union as an engineering major, and then called my mom 2 days in and was like, "Mom, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do any of this stuff we're going to do this semester, let alone do it for the rest of my life." And she was like, "Yeah, we knew. Like, we knew you weren't going to be an engineer. We just had to let you figure that out for yourself." And I'm very similar to my dad. And my dad, he teaches religion at a Catholic high school. And so I just feel like it's something that's been ingrained in me and kind of this path that I've been called to for a long time now. And so it's cool to actually, be in a position where I get to exercise that, in my day-to-day life.
So let's reflect back on your soccer career here at Mount Union as a player. You quickly became kind of one of the leaders on the team in your sophomore year. You started every game your sophomore year, then started every game your senior year. And you had 2 game winners, one your sophomore year, and then again in your senior year. What was it like kind of leading that team as an offensive threat and kind of being one of those core guys that everyone can count on?
Yeah, I think when I look back at my soccer career, it's just crazy, like the period of transition that I got to be a part of. So coming in my freshman year, there were a lot of guys in my class who played a lot of games my freshman year. I wasn't necessarily a consistent starter, but I got a lot of playing time freshman year. And then from sophomore year on, I was always in the mix, always in the starting lineup. And things definitely dwindled down by the time my class were seniors. We had lost like so many guys. We started with maybe, I want to say like 33 in my class. And then on senior day, we had 4 or 5. But I think during that time period, we went from my freshman year, we won 1 conference game. And then sophomore, junior year, made the conference tournament. We're fighting for, in the playoff games, losing 1-0 both years to John Carroll Capital, who were both like really good programs, top notch at that time. And then senior year, we actually had, I think, my best record of all 4 years, but just so many unlucky bounces kind of at the end of the season, the way things played out. We didn't even make the conference tournament, even though we had the best record throughout my time here. So, and then the 2 years after that, obviously the program like grew a ton, 13th in the nation, consistently at the top of the OAC, consistently nationally ranked, and made some huge strides. And so it was frustrating for sure, not necessarily reaping the fruits of the hard work that my class had put in. But it's just really cool to know that I was a part of the core that kind of made that transition from taking the soccer program and putting it on the map to where it is today.
What would you credit that rise, that growth in the program from your freshman year the senior year? You mentioned that your senior year you had the best record. What would you credit that? Coaches, just your camaraderie, the brotherhood?
Yeah, I'd say a combination of both. I think a lot of it was the coaching. So even the guy who had recruited my class, it was only his second year. And before he was the coach, his name was Nick Sturrett. He was only here for 2 years before taking a D1 assistant job. But he had kind of turned things around. His first year, he did really well. A lot of guys graduated. And then he brought our class in, which was kind of that next stepping stone. And when he left, Carter Poe took off just right where Sturrett left, and kept building that program, kept being very intentional about the kind of guys that he was bringing in. So it wasn't only, necessarily talent-based. Yes, we were finding some of the cream of the crop talent-wise, but we also kind of started to build this brotherhood, like you said, and we were recruiting players to really match the camaraderie and the chemistry of the team, and just a lot of good guys who were willing to work hard and put in the effort to continue building that program.
Take us back to maybe a favorite memory in your 4 years with soccer, either a game or just a stretch of a season. What would you say is your favorite memory as a Purple Raider?
I mean, there's so many. I think going from losing so many games my freshman year, which was cool though, because again, we were all freshmen, but we were all getting so much experience and playing time. But then going from being so bad and tying for last in the conference to making the conference tournament my sophomore year, and we beat a good Otterbein team in the final game of the season at Otterbein to put us into the OAC tournament. And I just remember it being kind of surreal, looking back and realizing the growth and the strides we had made in just 1 year. That was a pretty special moment for sure.
Well, Stephen, you're now the chaplain here at Mount Union. What do you hope to accomplish in your first year here in Alliance? And will we see you maybe interacting with Coach Krems and the men's soccer team a little bit?
Yeah, I think, well, I guess first to address the things that are going on in the chapel. I am only the interim, mostly because I'm not ordained in the Methodist Church. And so I probably am only on a 1-year contract. And so, for me, only having 1 year, it's I want to do as much as possible. I want to continue a lot of the programs, the chapel services, the student and spiritual life groups that are already going on. But I think above all else, I just want to be more of a spiritual presence on campus, somebody that is down to earth and easy to talk to, that students, feel welcome to come to the office to talk about anything that might want to talk about. I think that I'm super relatable. Obviously, I'm still young, and I was an athlete, and so I have a good rapport with the athletic teams and the coaches already. So I want to get, just a lot of students into the office and just hang out, talk about life, and see if there's any way that I can give some spiritual guidance, how you talked about earlier. And then with the soccer team, they're harping on me to try to get involved a little bit with the soccer program. And I keep telling them, let me get my feet under me here in the chapel, and then I'll let you know.
Right.
But the assistant coach, Joe Chimura, he's still the same guy. And I'm super close with him, and I've been getting to know Krems, the new coach, a little bit more. And so hopefully once things settle down, I'll be able to get involved, because I would absolutely love to help them, whatever it is, whether it's with fitness or just running practice and drills or just being a presence on the field for the guys to, talk, chat, look up to. I think it'd be cool to get involved in some way for sure.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. A lot of time to get ready with them before the season starts in the spring.
Yep.
But Stephen, thank you for joining us today. It's great having you back on campus in the chapel, and definitely we hope to see you around, and good luck in your first year here back at Mount Union.
Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.